Hi dear friends and friendly subscribers, welcome back to my channel. This is Inner Hill Tarot, and today I'm going to unbox the Wild Goddess Oracle. Well, not so in box because this is like a second hand that I got. Look at the chopping on here. It's not very pretty, but nevertheless I feel the deck and the book is pretty. It's a deck from Amy Zerner and Montefarber. I believe they're already published so many different decks and books, if I'm not wrong, and their work is quite special actually. And look at this guidebook, it's so beautiful. And yeah, it's from Fairwinds, and it's just really nice because this deck, I feel I have few Amy Zerner and Montefarber deck, and this has come from 2021, but this one is like dedicated for the wild goddesses, without actually naming them as an certain kind of archetype, for example like Circe or Minerva or something like that. And instead it's just like called the angel or the game changer, the escapist, you know. So it's just give me a little bit of freedom in interpreting who is this energy is supposed to be in my life, instead of like connecting with the background story of a certain deity, you know. And I also really appreciate the book. I think if anything at all, it's more like a book with a deck instead of a deck with a book, you know what I mean? So it's yeah, it's a very interesting thing, like the shift of the focus. And in here, like, you have the invocation towards a certain archetype that you wanted to embody, and I think it's very interesting at all. As well, I think especially when you're feeling like not connecting with the divine feminine, or probably kind of lost which kind of energy you need to connect it with. And I think this is where you can work with this deck in any period of time. Okay, so let's see the deck itself. I'm so sorry it's a little bit noisy because we are in the UK, and actually I never appreciate how beautiful sunlight is until I moved to this country, because for example this year it has been raining a lot, and of course when it's sunny everyone coming out, you know, people who work in the garden, like this person with this tractor, and also the kids and the elderly as well. So everybody came out. But yeah, before, when I live in other countries in a tropical, I always think that, oh, it's just another day, you know. It's not big deal. Every day sun come up at 6 a.m. and goes in 6 p.m. But living in Europe is different. Also, if you live in like South America or Australia as well, yeah, we appreciate the sun, I think. So yeah, this is the deck of cards. Sorry, I'm like going everywhere. I hope you enjoy my ranting a little bit about the sun. And yeah, if you like my channel, please don't forget to subscribe as well, okay? Subscribe, share, and comments. And anyway, this my the deck of cards, and the card itself is like really small actually compared to normal oracle deck right now, which is perfect for my hand because I actually have a small hands, but I love big cards, to be quite honest. I don't know why, don't ask me why. But yeah, let's have a flip through and enjoy the daffodils or the narcissus in the background, okay? This is dedicated to our wild goddesses. Okay guys, we just finished a silent flip through this Wild Goddess Oracle by Amy Verber and Monty Farber. Their names is quite a mouthful, so I'm so sorry. I don't mean to chop your name, guys. I'm so sorry. What do I think about this deck? It's a very beautiful and in a way it's a very calming deck with a interesting energy. I mean, they always have this cut and paste cutout artwork that is very their thing, basically, right? They this is their artwork style. But the one that I like about this deck is like most of the time their deck feeling is very over the top. It's like every single detail is like have additional layer on it, and another one. So sometimes it can be feeling too much for me, their deck, but this one is actually have like a balance into it, like a negative spaces in here. So for example, like this one, the Sibyl, this is actually from the Sistine Chapel, I believe, this image of the Sibyl, and to pair it with the tiger behind and the crane, but at the same time it's just enough, you know, it's not too much background color. I find it is very it's a bit different from what they always do normally, and it's kind of capture the exact feeling. One thing though about this Sibyl, actually, if I'm not wrong, in a reality, in a real picture, the Sibyl, it's actually not this lady. There is supposedly one other being here that is a black woman actually, and that is the real Sibyl. But Leonardo, I think is it Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci did this? I think it's Michelangelo actually. So it was very controversial when he put the black woman on as a Sibyl. So the Pope, like the Vatican people, says like no, you have to put it as a white woman. So he redo the color of the skin of the Sibyl, because this is supposed to be a Libyan Sibyl, so it's like a black people there, you know, it's like Arabic heritage and North African descendants. So he was just true to the reality, and he cannot do it, you know. So what he did is like, okay, he repainted the Sibyl as a white woman, but there's added someone behind who's like a black woman who's whispering to this to this Sibyl figure that become a white woman. If I'm not wrong, that's the story. I will check it out again in the future when I make the review video with this deck or something like that. If I'm not wrong, that's the story. Okay, so when I see this, it's very interesting as well, you know, the composition, because the crane as well, it's yeah, it's a symbol of a premonition of a good luck in a Japanese culture, if I'm not wrong as well. So yeah, I don't want to claim it as the only truth and nothing but the truth here, you know. It's, first of all, I haven't read a lot of art history books and went to the museum for so long, so I was just focusing on my work, and also doing the video is kind of taking a lot of my time as well. So I hope you enjoying this, because I also don't want to lose the timing when the flower coming in bloom, you know. I want to make beautiful videos, so I hope you guys enjoy it as well. But forgive me if my knowledge all of a sudden seems like kind of diminishing compared to prior videos at this time. But yeah, I promise I will read more again. Okay, yeah. So yeah, what can I say? It's like this, the butterfly, for example. with this Asian lady as the butterfly. It's kind of really remind me of the Madame Butterfly, something like this. And let me read what is behind the butterfly. Allow yourself to leave behind the past and what is no longer necessary, so you can truly be the person you have worked hard to become. Yes. Yeah, the story of Madame Butterfly is also very interesting because it is like the personification of how a girl who's like born in a brothel or something like this, the story, and in the end she's become like a very like a concubine, if I'm not wrong. I have to redone my research on all of these things, sorry guys. Yeah, a lot of things is very interesting to me as well. For example, the manifestor, we have like Egyptian symbology, I think this one, the ruler, the drama queen. It's yeah, somehow this figure, the teacher with the snake on her hair, it's kind of remind me of Medusa as well, because the story of Medusa is a tragic story, right? Because as a goddess, she's like she can't help it, she's beautiful, and she was raped actually by is it Zeus or no? Yeah, I'm not really good at this point, but actually she was raped by one of the gods. But instead of like people being sympathetic to her, I think one of the goddesses kind of I think Hera kind of cursed her, and then she's become like a hag with the hair, her hair become like snakes. So it's kind of her lesson here as a teacher. I kind of thinking as well, maybe as a society we need to think about how do we deal with the situation of violence towards women, you know, without re-victimize the victim, basically. Yeah, that's the story of Medusa. And of course there's a lot of other things, right? When she's become the Gorgon, and you know, there's a lot of story about shadows, about how her head is still like very poisonous, and in the end killing another monster as well. So it's incredible story, and it's a very complex archetype, the Gorgon. It's very, very beautiful, and I really like the inclusivity that's going on in this deck. Basically, you have like the archetype of the yogini. She's in here is depicted as like a very typical yogini, you know, young skinny woman with the lotus pose. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting, because when I went to India and Nepal, the notion of yogini is more like a hag, you know, more like a crone, and most of the time they have a dedicated life towards a certain deity actually. So most of the time the yogini that I saw doesn't look like this in India and Nepal, but it's interesting to see, you know, why not? Yeah, the siren with the ship, right? Jason and the Argonauts that can run away from the siren. It's also give me the idea of the temptations towards a certain kind of a relationship, you know. You see, allowing yourself to be the siren, allowing yourself to be distracted from what you should be doing leads to procrastination, avoidance, and needless problems. Oops. Oof. You see, the siren doesn't like it. siren. She kind of ran away. She wants to do her own thing, the sirens. Of course, she's a siren, right? So yeah, what else would I talk about in this deck? Basically, it's a very beautiful deck, and yeah, I'm looking forward to work with it. I have to take a look more though. For example, like this, the healer with the Pyramid of Giza behind. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be, you know. So there's a little bit of learning, of course, and like all the Emmy Werner and Montevarber decks, they also very multi-layered, and I always have to take a second look and third look when I do reading with their deck. So that's what I'm going to do. Please let me know if you also already use this deck, because this is not very new. This is from 2021. And what kind of reading do you do with this deck if you're already working with it, okay? And would you recommend to work with this to other people? Please leave me in the comments. And thank you again for your time watching my videos, and I hope you enjoying the background when I'm flipping through it. And yeah, this is the time, the beautiful time finally arrived. Today I see the bees, and I think I'm going to enjoy them now. I hope you also have a good day and night anytime you watch this video. And I guess I see you in the next one. Bye bye.